You can hear the 5th chapter, Sri Guru and His Grace. One student asking the question, in the quest of spiritual truth, one may join a religious mission to advance towards the ultimate goal of life. After some time, however, sectarian policies may appear to bear the brunt of progress. He may see that within the society, pragmatic concerns take precedence over spiritual ideals. If one feels the necessity to look elsewhere, his authorities may tell him that there are no higher truths to be found. One may also be warned that if he leaves this society, he will suffer serious repercussions. He may become an outcast, branded as a heretic for pursuing what he sincerely feels to be the ideal upon which the society was founded. So should he risk leaving the society, ignoring the advice of his immediate authorities? Or should he try to remain within the society? Srila Maharaj is speaking on this question. Progress means elimination and new acceptance. So when there is a clash between the relative and the absolute standpoint, the relative must be left aside, and the absolute should be accepted. Suppose you're American, but at heart you are a socialist. If your general practices, you will live harmoniously as an American. But when there is a conflict between the capitalists and the socialists, which side will you accept? Socialists or capitalists? So your creed is that of a socialist. You live in a country where the majority are capitalists. And there's no difference between the two parties. There's no conflict. But when there's a clash, which side will you side with? Internally you may identify yourself as a socialist, but for the sake of peace and for the good of the country, you may not express it externally. But suppose you are an out socialist, you will try to keep your creed, the purity of your faith for the socialists. You will try to leave the country and join the socialists. So the absolute and the relative are two different classes of interest. And we find more importance in the absolute interest. Means it's compared to materialism and a spiritual understanding. You may be attracted, but you cannot show it. So you will leave this material, you will try to leave and join the spiritualist. So the absolute and the relative are two different classes of interest. We find more importance in the absolute interest. We must be sincere to our own creed. Sometimes we have to leave our paraphernalia. If it does not suit us. So also even if the conception of purity of the Krishna consciousness movement, in the Vaishnava creed, there is purity and form. The form is necessary to help me in a general way to maintain my present position. At the same time, my conception of the higher ideal will always goad me to advance, to go forward, and wherever I go, I must follow the greater model, the greater ideal. So spiritual life is progressive, not stagnant. Do you follow? Devotee says yes. It is progressive. We are in the stage of sadhana, spiritual practice, and we want a progressive life. We want to go ahead, not backwards. The formal position will help me to maintain my present status. My extraordinary affinity for the ideal will goad me towards the front. Just as there are so many progressive parties in so many missions, progressive communists, progressive Christianity. First there were Catholics, then Protestants, again Puritans. This way Christianity progressed. So there's a development in the right way and also in the wrong way. The search for Sri Krishna is dynamic and living. So adjustment and readjustment is always going on. And we should also change our present position accordingly, so that we may not have to sacrifice the high ideal for which we have come. So one is born in a particular land by the arrangement of nature, but this high ideal may sometimes ask him to leave the country. So Einstein had to leave Germany, go to America for his high ideal of life. So many similar instances may be found in the world. The ideal is all in all. The highest ideal in a man is his highest jewel. Our most precious gem is our ideal. So many things are recommended in the scriptures, but they are meant to promote us towards the truth in an indirect way. Swadharme nidhanam shraya. It is recommended at a certain stage that for the sake of our close friends, we should give up our ideal. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's final instruction is Savadaman Paridyaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Varja. If it is necessary to maintain the highest ideal, you must give up your friends, surrender to me. I am the real purport of the scriptures. The highest kind of idealists give up their country, their family, their friends and everything else, but they can't give up their ideal. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, it is better to die while performing one's own duty than to try to do another's duty. So this is one stage of understanding, the relative consideration. The absolute consideration is all given in the Bhagavad Gita. Savadaman paridyaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Krishna says, give up everything, come to me directly. This is the revolutionary way. This is absolute, and this is relative. Stick to your own clan, don't leave them. That is the national conception. There is nation consciousness and God consciousness, society consciousness and God consciousness. God consciousness is absolute. If society consciousness hinders the development of God consciousness, it should be left behind. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Guru nasasyat svajanamo nasasyat pitta nasasyat janani nasasyat daivam natasya napadischa sasayan namojayat jasamupet mrityum. Even a spiritual master, relative, parent, husband, or demigod, who cannot save us from repeated birth and death, should be abandoned at once. What to speak of ordinary things? Even the guru may have to be abandoned. One may even have to give up one's own spiritual guide, as in the case of Bali Maharaj, or one's relative, as in the case of Vibhishana. In the case of Prahlad, his father had to be given up. And in the case of Prahlad Maharaj, it was his mother. In the case of Katvanga Maharaj, he left the demigods. And in the case of Yagyabratnis, the wives of the Brahmanas, they left their husbands in the endeavor to reach the absolute personality. We need society only to help us. If our affinity to the society keeps us down, then that should be given up. And we must march on. There's the absolute consideration and the relative consideration. When they come into the clash, the relative must be given up. And the absolute should be accepted. If my inner voice, my spiritual conscience decides that this sort of company cannot really help me, then I will be under painful necessity to give them up, to run towards my destination, wherever my spiritual conscience guides me. Any other course will be hypocrisy and will check my real progress. If we are sincere in our attempt, then no one in the world can check us or deceive us. We can only deceive ourselves. Nahi kalyani krit kaschit tu gadim Yatha gacchati. We must be true to our own self and true to the Supreme Lord. We must be sincere. I don't know. Outsiders may have no idea what we are speaking of. Any question on this or any? Anything clear? It's a very high level, you know. For this many will get this eyes. Right. Because yeah, they have to be rejected if they act like in Prahlad's case, Hiranyakashipu. He wants to kill even his own son, so he has to reject him. And when he was killed, the Lord personally appeared before him, Lord Nrsingadev. So, what desire you have, what you want, anything, everything what you want, I will give to you. But Prahlad, he just said, I have no desire. I just want to remember you all the time. I have no desire of anything. But the singer, they did not give up. He said, one desire you must speak that I can help. What did he say? Please save my father. He wants to kill him, but he said, please save him, liberate him, bring him. Back home. Of course, they were all members of the transcendental world. It was just a pastime of the Lord. Jai and Vijay. Appeared as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, just to play. How? Yes, he had full faith in Supreme Lord. He manifested as Nrsingadev, half lion, half man, it was, the circumstances were like this. It's a long story, Nrsinga. But he prayed to Lord Vishnu, Narayan. His relation is Chandaras. It means he has a neutral relation to the Lord, but he had absolute faith in the Lord. You may save me. So many times his father wanted to kill him because he was envious of Narayan, God. He could not tolerate that he is following the way of Narayan. And he tried to kill him in so many ways. And Prahlad, he was always dependent on the Lord. My Lord, I am yours, sure. May you protect me or not? But the Lord always protected him. So many situations where his father wanted to kill him because he could not tolerate his son accepted someone else than more important than himself. So this is that's because even Mahaprabhu, who was in a much higher level and higher was giving us the highest rasa. But he liked to hear the story of Prahlad. Because such devotion, such faith in God, that nobody could harm him. Nobody could destroy him. Even the most powerful demon, his father, who the whole universe he controlled, all the demigods, all the saints, they were hiding in the corners outside. They were afraid of him. But Prahlad was not afraid. He just had full faith in them. This is the example how the real devotee is surrendering to the Lord. You don't have to be afraid of anything. Nobody dies. Nobody can die. We are all eternal living beings, but this is only a illusory manifestation in where we are living. And so many reasons are given on this plane, on this material plane, how to enjoy here, how to get attached here. And this means I want to enjoy separately from the Lord. I want to become the Lord, with other words. Today I spoke with one devotee, he called me. And it's why I said, his conclusion was that he is now 60, 70 or something, almost 70. And he still thinks, Krishna gives me so much enjoyment, so I can enjoy. And he thinks this is the goal. But this is not the goal of a devotee. It is still, the thinking is there, I must enjoy. The devotee never thinks like this. He is trying to please the Lord, not the Lord must please me. This is the big wall we have to break down, to understand this. We are meant for His pleasure, not He is meant for our pleasure. He is God. He is the source of everything. Everything belongs to Him. Everything is created by Him, and I am also a part of Him. We again come to see if we have realized my duty is to please him, to be with him, to help him to enjoy, then we are in a good way. If you come here and pray to God, please do this for me, please give me this, please. This is not, even Prahlad Maharaj, he did not. He just had faith. Whatever you do, my Lord, whatever you may destroy my body or my situation now, but I have full faith in you. You may destroy me or may save me, whatever, however you like. Aslishya binastumam adasnamam hadkara karotuva yadada dati dehandana bhakti adhirastatana muyadi. Mahabhu's last slogan says. It's the conclusion. My Lord, you may destroy me, or you may save me as you like, or you may impress me. Whatever you decide, I am ready. But the Lord is not like we are. For his enjoyment, he is not killing. He is all good because we are part of him. And he's not, he wants to just help all those who are involved in this material plane and thinking. I am the doer, everything is in my hand. Devotee things opposite, everything is in your hand. You may do, you may kill me, you may impress me. You will always be my worshipable Lord. This is completely opposite of the materialism of this world where we are living now. And what happens when you run for I am the enjoyer, I must enjoy? The result you see is material world. In a simple way, birth, death, old age, disease, so many suffering going on, killing going on. Nature is making it very hard to stay. But we are not thinking that I am wrong. We still try to squeeze, something must, sweetness I must get some enjoyment. And this is what we call ignorance, or what the Vedas say Maya. This is not the reality. The reality is eternal. What we experience here is temporary. At the beginning, whatever has a beginning has an end. But we are eternal living beings. We have no beginning, no end. It's just the illusion what lets us think, now I have taken birth in a body and I have lost. I die, then I am finished. Because this is how the Lord teaches us. We wake up. Jeev jago, jeev jago. Gaura Janda bole. Chant the name of Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. then we will understand nobody dying. Also, you're not dying. It is just artificial, illusory, like a dream. Even some karmics realize this. They have experienced the near-death experience. They tell all similar things. Even some say that actually what they experienced on the other side, when they left the body and then again were put back in the body, what they experienced, they say, actually what we are living, this is illusion. But the real life is on another side. Even they get this experience. So we have to go on until we experience something like this. Nothing is finished. Everything is eternal. This material world is also eternal. Nitya it's called. Eternal conditioned life. And Nitya Bhada means eternal. There's no birth, no death, no illusion. This can follow. So how to explain to someone who is controlled by this external plane? How to explain this to them? He will not, he has no capacity to understand. Because he has no experience of that there is something beyond this concrete plane where we are living. That's because it's called a belief. I believe. Devotees do not believe. Devotees, they live in reality. They know. They know that this is a temporary world. They know they will die. And they know when I am attached to anything in this world, I have to come again. And I have to I have to experience until I understand. This cannot be the real thing where we are living now. It is working in a way as this material world is working. Every action has a reaction. If I once get an idea, it could be right, it could be maybe truth, what I heard, what I experienced. Then the arrangement is made by higher personalities, and you will get the chance to hear But you may not understand, or you may understand, or you may realize it is up to you again. We have free will. So some may understand, some may not. But this can it must be realized, you know. It is not by speaking. You must get the mercy of the Nityananda and the pure devotees who are beyond. By this way, they may get the fortune to advance, to understand something. How terrible is it? You just imagine if you're on the other side and look how the scientists are working on so many useless things. For what? They have to die, they get old. What is the solution? Can they stop dying? Can they stop taking birth? Can they stop disease? What is this pandemic? What was there? Where were the scientists? What did they do? Basically, they make a big thing out of it. But it comes, it goes. And some think it is because of I have done the right thing. They are not considered that the nature is working. One who has to die, nobody can stop it. No doctor, no scientist. If the time is coming, we have to go. But we have to find out where to go, and we can find our place, our eternal place, where our home is, our real home. But this is not, to get out from this mundane conception is not easy. So we have to be very determined. But materialists will not allow them to get too much attention for these things. Like Einstein, he came also to the conclusion, all books of this world, all science what can be burned, it is nothing lost if Bhagavad Gita is surviving. So Bhagavad Gita, all the solutions are there, all the understanding is there. He understood these things. It's natural. And also how we live, what we are experiencing here, it is logically very clear. Action and reaction. Coffee. Jai Srila Siddhadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Nitai Prem. Jai Gau Premanandi.